Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Marcia Martin, the heart healer, and here with me is Raven Scott. And we're so excited because we have a wonderful opportunity to share with you. Coming up at the end of October, on October 30th, beginning at 9 a.m., we're going to help you navigate the narcissistic minefield of disaster.
The deep depths of the fog. We're going to pull you out from the deep ocean. Yes.
We're going to help you figure out, are you in a narcissistic relationship, or are you just going through a bad phase? So, since we are both veterans of the narcissistic field, we've got some questions that we think you should be asking yourself. And then we'll give you those answers when you join us on Sunday, the 30th, to learn, really dive deep into the whole narcissistic phenomena. So I'm going to give you a couple of questions to start, and then Raven's going to come in with some great questions as well. But the thing that I want you to be most aware of is, are you loving yourself? Does this relationship help you support you? Do you feel uplifted and acknowledged and honored to be in the relationship? Or do you feel a little belittled and perhaps ashamed and find that you're retreating or hiding more and more? If you are not self-loving, you need to join us on Sunday. During this workshop, we are going to take a look at why you need to really love yourself, whether you're in or out of a relationship. And the other thing that I want to ask you is, do you feel really clear-headed? Do you feel that you're able to make really great decisions and you feel really supported and confident in the decisions that you're making? Or are you constantly second-guessing yourself? Do you feel a little off all of the time? If you're in that zone of uncertainty and not feeling clarity about where your life is going or what you can expect next, you might need to tune in and find out whether you've stepped into the narcissistic minefield or if you're just going through sort of a searching phase in your life. It's okay to grow, to search, to learn, and expand. It's not okay to be abused.
Yeah.
So if you are feeling uncomfortable for any reason, join us. We want you to move from a space of tragedy into a place of triumph. So, Raven, share with us your questions and how you can guide everyone through this place and keep them out.
Yeah, I would love to ask you to evaluate your body. Are you feeling this constant pit in your stomach? Or maybe you're starting to develop food allergies, which are mysterious and you never had before. That could be a sign that you're in an emotionally abusive relationship because you're ignoring your gut and you're staying in a situation and now it has to scream at you. It's tried to whisper for so long and you've kept pushing it down and pushing it down. And is it screaming at you? Another one is just plain and simple. Like, do you feel like you are taking crazy pills? Like, do you feel like you're trying and trying and trying with this person and it's getting nowhere? You're literally spinning, chasing your tail, and the resolution never comes. Maybe the apology you're seeking never comes. Maybe it does come, but then it doesn't get followed through. There's no action behind the apology. There's no change in behavior, but you keep saying, well, if I just do this, then it'll fix it. If I just do this, then we'll be fine. If we just go to therapy, then it'll all be resolved. These all may be signs that you are stuck in a loop with a narcissistic personality disordered person. Or it just could be on the spectrum. They don't have to be fully diagnosed as
Right.
NPD. Let's just call it toxic, like let's throw out the narcissist thing. Of course, we are talking a lot about that, but they just could be toxic. And that's all you really need to know. Like Marcia said, are they supporting you emotionally? Or are you always spinning to people please them? Are you walking on eggshells? And if that emotional support is not there, how you can know this is that you may bring up a topic and ask a question for maybe some guidance that you would normally do with a partner. And they twist your head around. They spin around. They then turn and ask you questions, or they say, well, you know what your problem is? And it's like, no, I was just asking for emotional support and guidance. I don't need to know my problems. Like, I already know them. They're already up in my head. Thank you very much. I don't need to know these problems. And so then you get more confused and you're spun around like, blindfold, like you're about to hit a pinata. And you're like, I don't know what I like. I left this conversation a lot more confused than I went into it. It's like you have that tiny bit of your own clarity, and you're like, let me just get some support from someone. And that toxic person is going to have you end up leaving it going, I don't know what is up and what is down, what is left and what is right. You certainly need to join the summit. That's October 30th to find answers, to gain clarity, and to gain the support that you so need. Because it's like being pulled down a whirlpool, isn't it, Marcia? Like you need that lifeline.
Oh my gosh, yes. And, when you enter a partnership, you truly believe that you're going to be supported. So you're going in with the understanding that you're going to have a sounding board and somebody who's sort of watching your back. And when you discover that that's not happening for whatever reason, and, I think that was so important, Raven, that you mentioned that some relationships just aren't good for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be labeled narcissistic. It's just if you find yourself in a partnership where you don't feel supported, it's not a good place for you to be. And if you feel that the community is missing, then you want to join us, because that's what this is all about, creating a community of support where you will get answers that you've been seeking, where you can speak freely, where no one is going to say to you, I didn't say that, or what are you
Mm.
talking about? Or you always say the stupidest things.
You're
That
so
is going to be
sensitive.
missing. we 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 know that those conversations really well,
Mm-hmm.
and we know how painful they can be and how much they cause you to question everything about yourself. If you were a person that began with self-confidence when you entered the relationship about any area of your life, perhaps you were confident in your approach to your job, but you were a little uh, wobbly in other areas of your life. By the end of that relationship, you're not going to be confident about the thing that you were confident about going in. All of your confidence is going to be stripped away. And that one thing that you were holding on to that made you feel like you had a handle on your life is going to be gone. So if you
Mm.
feel like you're sort of falling into this abyss and everything that you are doing is turning out badly, please join us. It's not you. You
Mm-hmm.
have made a choice that isn't honoring your highest good, and we want to help you find the way forward from here. It is not the easiest thing you're ever going to do, but we're here to support you. And we want to make sure that the advice that you're receiving during this summit comes from the heart and is not going to point fingers or blame other people. It's going to help you be uplifted so that you can make the best decision for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
Raven, tell us how you got to the place that you realized, whoa, this isn't working. I
It
I'm
took,
absolutely just not food allergies. It's like allergic to life.
yeah, I always joke that it wasn't actually food allergies. I was just allergic to my ex. I was just allergic to the abuse. And that's really the truth about it in a weird, funny, simplistic way. I was isolated. This is the other thing that they do. And I really, truly feel like if you are resonating with any of this, then you're going to find that having a group community setting like this summit is really powerful. It is very transformative because you will feel the light and love from the community versus, what you're feeling now. You're feeling alone and you're feeling empty and lost, like you're in this cold, icy cave, emotionally and in your psyche. And we both have been there, right, Marcia? We both have been in that icy cave.
And the humiliation. If you are feeling humiliated or worthless, these are big hallmarks of what it's like to be in the relationship with a person who is not your best partner. And it doesn't mean that that partner is evil or that they are just someone that is always bad. Expect that each one of these people that you have partnered with that hasn't been your greatest match have good qualities and are good people. However, the combination of both of you isn't working. So
Mm-hmm.
don't look to the other person to be all of the problem. Expect that you're going to have your own role in this as well.
Yeah.
But know that while you remain in this toxic relationship, it's going to be very difficult for you to do your own personal growth work or for them to be
Yeah.
able to do their personal growth work.
I
So choosing to leave doesn't mean they're bad and you're good, or you're bad and they're good. It just isn't healthy for either one of you to be in this place. So we want to encourage you and support you in choosing to come spend time with us on the 30th, where you're going to commune with people who have done the work, have gotten out of the relationships, and are now dedicating their lives to helping others get out of the relationship. But we didn't do it by pointing fingers at the other person and saying, oh, you're such a terrible person. We did it by doing just what we want to do with you on the 30th, getting support for our own personal well-being.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
when I left, I never had the intention of blaming or immediately divorcing. My intention was to just get into a safe space where I could think clearly. And then we could go to counseling and we could figure it out because I was still like, we're going to figure it out. I was
right.
still like a pit bull on a bone.
Yes.
And then, in doing so, it didn't work out because then a few other demons kind of came out and he tried to get back at me by cheating on me. And so again, like he just kept crossing the lines for me that were like, that's it. So I was like, okay, I can't continue to try. Like, that's my line. You don't toe over. And I'm going to file for divorce and wish you well. And yes, that is part of the grieving process, is feeling like you need to villainize them. I feel like for a tiny bit, that's fine to make sure you don't go back to them. But like you said, realize that they are human. They have their wounds, they have their traumas, and if they want to grow and fix them, that's great, but that's their journey. And unfortunately, in a toxic relationship, the two combinations of either your energies, you were attracted to each other to kind of fill in those different wounds. If you're still there, you can't actually heal the wounds because you're filling the wounds for each other and enabling through codependency those those wounds. And so, he or she can't heal, you can't heal by ignoring them and being the band-aid for each other. So my journey of realizing that I needed to, start to stand up for myself before I even realized I needed to leave is I went to community. I went to a family members who had a whole bunch, like all my cousins and their kids. And it felt, like I said, I felt the love, I felt the light, and it just felt really peaceful, which I hadn't felt in years. And when I came back to share like how wonderful it felt, he just immediately went straight into they're horrible people, they're baby breeders, they're ruining the earth. And I'm like, you're not hearing me at all. I'm not even trying to convince you to have a child. I just am expressing my experience. And he couldn't receive or hear that. And that was my first big awakening step to he's never going to change for me in my relationship in that circumstance.
Well, I think it's really important for us to remember and understand that we have no power over another person. We only have power over ourselves. And every narcissistic individual is deeply wounded, but is usually unable or unwilling to change. So if you are hoping that you can fix them, please join us. If you're having the conversation with yourself, oh, I know if I just do what he says or she says more often, this will get better. If I just become less so they can become more, I'll only have to do that for a short time, and then they'll be so grateful that.
No, the two self-aware narcissists that are going to be at this summit, I've been following them recently, and I actually had a little chat with Leon, and he said it was very similar, like the high that the narcissist, especially an actual diagnosed NPD person, that gets off of controlling and making you happy is like, he didn't say this, I'm kind of like gleaning all my information from my other interviews as well, but is like a drug. And so if you are the drug in that relationship to them, can an addict ever be free and grow and heal if the drug is sitting right next to their bedside table every night? No. They just can't help themselves. Like, that's just what happens. So I'm not like insulting you or calling you a drug. What I'm saying is that if you let them treat you that way, you are enabling that, and you are like that addictive high for them. And the only way for them to even awaken, possibly to change, is to draw the boundaries and not continue to give them that, to enable that. And maybe they will, maybe they won't, but you don't have to keep putting up with that just to hope and pray that they change while you're there, because they never will. That's already the symptom already in place in the patterns.
And I think it's really important for you as the person in the relationship receiving this treatment to recognize how much you are diminishing yourself in order to stay.
Yeah.
And it probably is going to hurt to see that. All we can tell you is we've been there and we've come back from that place, and we'll support you in stepping out of that place and stepping back into your authenticity. But you continuing to play small, hoping that they're at some point going to be big enough so that they'll be able to include you, is just a fantasy. And the quicker that you get out of that, the better it is for both parties. You're probably much healthier than the narcissist, even though you have made these poor decisions and you have diminished yourself. I'm going to still believe that you are healthier emotionally than your narcissistic counterpart.
Yeah,
And
what
so,
I've said is that when you stay and you put up with this abuse, like, you think, and they make you think that you're weak, but you're a hella strong. You are, I mean, to put up with that over and over, and then suck it up and be like, okay, let's like prepare the lunches and let's do all the normal things that you have to do as a person in the world, or let me get up early and go to lunch even though I'm hungover and placid. Let's just continue on to put on that face in society. Like, you are incredibly strong and you are not worth having to put up with that treatment. So if number one, you're strong and you can do anything you desire, like, you have the strength within you. So there's no need to stay because you don't deserve it. You're not worth it. So you can. You're brave enough. You just got to muster up your inner goddess.
Amen. And join us. Let us help
Yes.
you, because we're not in the midst of the battle right now. So we have plenty of energy to help you get out of your own battle.
Yeah, you always have to have that lifeline. So just imagine us like a buoy, right? The lifesaver buoy. We are the buoy. Just grab on, hold on tight, and you won't be sucked down into that vortex.
Amen. So join us October 30th, beginning at 9. We are going to really give you an understanding of how you got there and how you can get out. And you won't be walking around wondering. You'll get your questions answered.
Yeah,
So
this summit
October
is going to
30th.
feature coaches, it's going to feature speakers, podcast hosts, authors like ourselves, spiritual teachers, along with two top self-aware narcissists. So you get to pick into the mind of a aware narcissist. They are a recovering NPD person. And so this summit is complimentary. So grab your complimentary ticket to attend the virtual summit, like we said, October 30th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time. The link will be here in the comments and the show notes and the bio, wherever. We got links everywhere on our websites. This is for men and women who wish to break free from the grasp of the narcissist, manipulation, and abuse. Release codependency and gaslighting, and rise up and regain your sparkles back in your life, to regain your power back. So I just wanted to cover real quick before we end. Here's what's going on to be covered in these virtual online summit. You don't have to go anywhere. You can sit in your PJs. It's all over the video. This is what we're going to cover: is how to break free from trauma bond, how to guard against negative energy and dispel the narcissist. I'll be hosting that, and a little mini guided meditation. How to have complete freedom from the narcissist and change your story so that you can change your life. How the narcissist used love to manipulate you. That's probably from one of the self-aware narcissists. And why empaths attract narcissists and what you can do about it. That's hosted by Dr. Marcia Martin herself. And Confessions into the Mind of a Narcissist. That's definitely from a self-aware narcissist host. How you can use the power of your words to heal, and how domestic violence with the narcissist begins within. This summit will be jam-packed with real interviews, like I said, with all of us survivors and coaches and the self-aware narcissists. And really, we're going to share with you and be in community of how to overcome narcissistic abuse. So there's one last question that we want to ask. So what would it be worth to you to be able to sit with 5 top narcissist experts, including ourselves, and 2 top self-aware narcissists who are crushing it in the narc awareness community, such as Lisa Sawney, Leon Walker, Ben Taylor, myself, Dr. Marcia Martin, and more? Like, how much would that be worth? Priceless, I think, because I wish I had a community like what we're creating. When I was coming out of it, I didn't even know it was called narcissism. I didn't even know I was codependent. I just knew I was going crazy, and that's it. It's
And
priceless.
probably you were questioning, am I really going crazy?
Yes,
Or
I was all the time, every day.
yeah, if your mind is spinning, reach out, join us, get the help you deserve, and stop the cycle.
Yeah.
And it has to begin with you. If you are expecting your partner to do the work, you will be in this relationship for a very long time. Take the initiative, join us on the 30th, and get the information and the support that you need to break the cycle.
Yes. And another fun meme on the audio of Instagram world is there are two lives. We have two lives. There's one before we realize we have only one life, where you kind of like piddle around and waste your time and maybe like try and hold on to the narcissist. I can certainly attest that that was feels like a whole different life away from my life now, which is a second life. You realize you only have one life to live. So, like Marcia keeps saying, the more time you stay, the more deep you get sucked into the quicksand. So, life is too short, life is too precious. And this really is going to help benefit you.
And you deserve better.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, and so do they. They deserve better. So don't do it just for yourself. If you're feeling so broken and defeated, do it for you, for your partner, for your children. If you have children, be be who you really are and devote that little bit of time to learning how you can break free and live a life that really feels great. So
Mm,
we'll see you on the 30th, and we're excited to be able
yeah.
to share the journey with you and be your support system.
I'm so excited. It is free. So grab your free ticket today at the link there in the notes in the comments. You can get a VIP ticket, which actually will provide you a workbook. So if you're like, I love to take notes, I really need to study this, like I am ready to get out, then definitely grab your VIP ticket. You will get exclusive Q&A session times with all of us, plus the two self-aware narcissist, and it's just a beautiful tool at an incredible price, $75 only for the VIP. Like, it's amazing.
And
So
I gotta say, if you are new to this, having been in that relationship for an exceedingly long time, one time hearing the information is probably not going to sink in.
right.
I had to hear it again and again and again, read books, go to different places. It took me a really long time to comprehend that this relationship was never going to work because I was so deeply invested.
Yeah.
So I would really recommend that you go ahead and get that VIP pass so that you will have something that you can refer back to, and you will be able to remind yourself there's no way to go forward in the direction that I'm going. And you will not keep investing more and more of your life into something that has no hope of becoming what you want it to be.
Yes, you cannot keep shoving a bright, beautiful star, which you are, into a round hole. And that's kind of what I always analogize what I was trying to do. And he was becoming more and more resentful. So he was becoming more and more abusive because I was trying to shove him in to that. And then with through his resentment behind that, this is what Leon made me aware of, which you can ask in this VIP ticket. The questions I was like, I was talking and he was commenting back and asking him, and I was like, I forced mine to into a marriage. He resented me. Yeah, he's like, yes, he resented you, and he did not like that, and therefore it opened up a wound for him from his childhood of like, if she leaves me, now I'm really going to be abandoned, and that was his big thing, abandonment wound. And when I had to, because it was getting more and more abusive, it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. His fear and his, resentment then forced me to leave, and therefore I abandoned him, and therefore hearing through the grapevine, he actually like physically got worse and declined before. Hopefully he's now better, but I don't know because I have no contact. But so all of those videos you get in the VIP with the questions, the Q&A session, the videos come with a VIP. So you'll have them for a lifetime to replay, have them be the new mantra in your mind instead of the narrative that the narcissist is spinning on you. And then you'll be ready. You'll be ready to rise up, ready to leave, and ready to live your life, your one and only life.
What a brilliant reminder, Raven. Yes, you got to replace the worn out ways And you probably at this point are not strong enough to do it, but we are. So lean on us, rely on us, get that VIP ticket so that you will have access to us over and over and over again. And then make the decision that is not just for your highest good, but for the highest good of everyone is that's in this relationship with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hope to see you
Absolutely.
all there. It's really going to be fabulous. And if I had had this earlier on, it would have made my life a heck of a lot easier.
I
So if
know.
you are in a situation where you're just feeling like something's off and you don't even know what it is, come to the summit and at least get the information. It, no matter what, it's
Yeah.
going to help you.
Yeah, just come and for free to be in it. If you can't do the VIP, it's supportive. It'll plant a seed. It'll still be supportive. And I'm gonna sound like an old mom, but like you guys are spoiled. You have us. You have these summits. You have all these beautiful resources nowadays. When I was your age, I didn't know. I had no idea. I just, yeah, like I said, I just thought I was upside down, topsy turvy.
And I think oftentimes we feel even more isolated because you may not have a strong supportive family to fall back on. So
Yeah.
think of us as your family. Think of us as people who care about your well-being, but we don't or have we will not come at you with any kind of judgment or condemnation, not because we're perfect, but because we've been there and we understand what you're going through and how difficult and confusing it is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Can't wait to see you there.
I'm excited. And for those of you who haven't worked with Raven, she's really phenomenal and you'll
Oh,
get
thank you.
so much information. We're going to do our best to bring you everything you could possibly need to make the best decision for yourself. And we
Mm-hmm.
are delighted that you're going to be with us, and you're going to be delighted as well.